Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I was trying to be serious, but I really can't. So, hey everyone and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be reviewing Shogun episode 2. And I have to keep my handy dandy katana with me. So yeah, Shogun episode 2. So this episode blew my mind. Like, I was really into episode 1. It is really hot in this thing, by the way. I was really into episode 1 and I was really intrigued with the show and wanted to see where it was going to go next. And since watching episode 1, I found out it was based on a book and that the characters represent real historical... Okay, sorry, I had a phone call and it was weird. Anyways, and so episode 1, I didn't know anything about it, and then I did some research last night, so when we watched episode 2, I knew it was based off a show, and that the characters' names have changed, but they're based off historical figures, and so all of the historical figures that I called and was like, oh, he's like Tokugawa, that Ishido is like Ishida, and then the main girl, her father was mentioned to be a Akechi, and I'm like, I wonder if, and it's like, I thought they said the name Jubei or something similar, and so I'm like, I know Jubei Akechi was another name for Mitsuhide Akechi, who was Nobunaga's apprentice who assassinated him, who's also in my book Immortal. And so I caught those details, and I was like, the leader that they don't ever mention the name of is meant to be Hideyoshi, and the heir, and all the drama there. And so finding out that I called all of it, but it's just the names were changed, kind of felt very validating and exciting for me, because it's just so fun to see history brought to life like that. So the opening of episode 2 blew my mind. It starts off with a flashback of when Hideyoshi is dying. They don't name names, but it's meant to represent Hideyoshi, and this scene confirmed it, because he's dying. Tokugawa's there. He's worried about his heir. His heir is a young boy, and so he sets up this council of 5 people to help keep his regent in power until he comes of age at 16. Because Hideyoshi knew they're going to vie for power. They've been vying for power this whole time, and he asked Tokugawa to look after him, and all of these little details about Hideyoshi and that particular scene, like in my book Immortal, I mention that scenario and like Hideyoshi's death and all the drama, and then there's a letter between Hideyoshi and my character, and then there's a letter between Tokugawa Ieyasu and my character explaining to my main character, my fictional character, all the details of Hideyoshi's death. So to get to see this scene in live action in such an authentic setting, oh my gosh, like I'm fangirling still, you guys. Hideyoshi's armor was sitting at the back, and it was fantastic. It looked amazing. It was accurate, very historical accurate. I love, because he has the big spikes. I'll show a picture if I can find one. So detailed. So in this particular episode, the main English guy, I can't think of his name. I'll put it on the screen if I can figure it out. John, whatever. He meets with Tokugawa, and then he gets arrested, and then in the prison he meets another guy who could speak Portuguese, which in the show for us is English, but it's meant to be Portuguese. And he explains a lot about Tokugawa. So another detail I forgot to mention from last episode was the main guy, Tonaga, I can't remember his fictional name, but he's inspired by and supposed to represent Tokugawa Ieyasu. Some of the details that the reason why I knew it was supposed to be Tokugawa, even without knowing that the names had been changed, was the similarities between the two characters is what I was noticing, was that he grew up as a hostage for so many years, and just the whole circumstances of everything going on. And so it was more about that and how the council was trying to get him killed, and all of this just drama back and forth. And so it's just such a cool detail. So historically accurate. And so the John guy gets arrested, and then he gets rescued, and it's like, again, the political dealings. We find out that Tokugawa, like, one thing I love about the show is that they're showing how strategic he was. Like, he was such a master strategist, and one of the things that they bring out was that he was using the English guy, the John character, to create conflict between the council members, because some of them, I think there's 2 or 3 guys that are actually Catholic lords, even though they're Japanese, and Christianity had kind of been banned at this point, but once Hideyoshi died, I think it was like it wasn't banned anymore. And so they are all against Ishida, and so Tokugawa Ishida wants to kind of keep the English guy around and parade him around, and obviously because the other lords who are Christian or Catholic, they don't like John because he's a Protestant, and they want him dead. And Tokugawa knew this, and it would create discord between the council members and hopefully keep them from voting on Tokugawa's death, basically. And he knew this. And then there's a scene between one of Tokugawa's loyal retainers, the lord over one of the villages, and Ishida. And basically, he kind of creates this like deal where like, okay, if you kill Tokugawa, you're still going to have the Christian lords on the council to deal with, and you can't win against them because they have the support of the Portuguese Catholics. And he's like, and so they create this kind of deal, and so the retainer of Tokugawa basically rescues John, but he hires like some mercenaries to do it, but then he kills the mercenaries to hide that, obviously, the connection to him. And so basically John gets to meet with Tokugawa again, and they have several different conversations, and the first one is they're translated by one of the priests who speaks Portuguese, because he's a Portuguese priest. And so the translation, they did it really cool. It started off where like John would say something and then the priest would repeat it in Japanese and we would get captions, and then Tokugawa would say something and we would read it in Japanese, in English captions, but it's in Japanese, and then they would go back and forth. But eventually it zoomed in to where it was like John and Tokugawa, and they kept talking back and forth, and it kind of like, it took out the translating, but we understood, and it was a really cool editing shot just to imply that they were having this conversation through the translator. And then later on, one of the main girls, Miyaki, or I can't remember her name. I'm terrible with names, I'm so sorry. But the girl character, she translated, and there's this scene in the garden. I'll pop it up here on the screen if you guys can see it. And Tokugawa apologizes to the young lord, who is Hideyoshi's young son, the heir, as they call him in the show, for ruining his garden. He asks John to like draw a map of the world as he knows it, and it's revealed that the Portuguese has had a secret base in Macau, and they've divided the land with Spain, and now they consider Japanese to be on the Portuguese side, so they like own Japan in their mind, and it's like a huge betrayal because a lot of the Japanese people have been working with the Portuguese and stuff, and it's just so good, and it's so detailed, and I love this show. So honestly, I liked this episode even better than the first one. There was really nothing that I really had to complain about with the first one. I don't think this one had any nudity. I think the nudity was mostly in the last one, which we were able to skip over pretty easily, really easily, so it wasn't like as big of a deal, but it kind of was. So it was just really, really historical, really detailed, really exciting, full of suspense and drama and the politics. Like, I am so here for the politics, and to finally have like a show that's similar in grit and politics to Game of Thrones and Reign, but like medieval Japan. Because honestly, if you're gonna make a Japanese, if you're going to make a Japanese show about Japan with lots of drama and politics and action and things, like, this period is the best period to do it, because there was so much war, and Nobunaga worked to unite the country, and then once he died, Hideyoshi picked up where he left off to rule, and then Tokugawa was the one who came up at the top. There is this Japanese quote that says, anyways, there's this old Japanese saying that says, Nobunaga pounded the national rice cake, so Nobunaga basically made the cake, Hideyoshi kneaded it, and in the end Ieyasu sat down and ate it. It implies that like Nobunaga did all the groundwork and the hard work because he fought the war, he conquered and dominated the clans and the lands, and after he died, Hideyoshi took over and helped kind of bring the political side of the peace to fruition, and then Ieyasu kind of just took over after Hideyoshi died and ended up being the one on top, and it's the Tokugawa shogunate that is known for the 200 years of peace that lasted until the 1860s Japan. So I love it. I'm here for it. 5-star review for this episode as well. I am so here for it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Have you seen anything that has stand out to you that you guys don't like in the show, or that you find off or anything? Are you guys enjoying it as much as I am? Please just let me know in the comments below. I'd love to like talk with you guys about the show because it's just so good. I love this show. And in the meantime, if you liked this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more writing and reading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And in the meantime, if you liked my review of this episode, then check out my review of the next one. It'll be up, if not next week, it'll be up soon. So hang on for that one because I am loving it and I can't wait to review the rest of the episode. So check that out. You don't want to miss it.